was Dugway. Yeah. Well, real quickly,
Everybody's proving that.
I've been contacted by the FBI, the Bureau of Investigation, several times. One of them, I was working for John Schuessler as an investigator for the Mutual UFO Network, and the headquarters was out of Leeds, Colorado. And I had a friend, his family owns Brews Plus, and he was a total non-believer. We did a lot of hunting and fishing together. He was always ragging my ass. Every time you see me, he goes, woo, 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 woo. And it just irritated the shit out of me. Well, one day I'm at work, and this is back before when I had pagers, so I'll date myself. My pager goes off, and it's John Cosgrove is his name. That's a 911 page. So I call him. He goes, God damn it, Storch, God damn it, you're right, I saw it. Yeah, he's talking a mile a minute, I go, tell him. He goes, I saw one. He was always jerking my chain. I go, I'm way too busy for this crap right now, I'm at work. And he goes, no. He goes, I saw a flying saucer damn broad daylight. And he said, I was down at the store in Pueblo, Colorado, coming up northbound on I-25. Here's what I said to him. Will you, if I write up an affidavit and have it notarized, will you sign it? He goes, absolutely. He did, I got it. Well, I go into the office at Littleton, Colorado, and there were 6 other reports. John was there. And he goes, what do you make of this? I didn't tell him about John Cosgrove, but what I did is I took a map, and everybody where they were located, I put a pin. And then what I did is I took a protractor and drew lines and where they intersected. Now, John's story was, he's coming up out of Pueblo, Colorado, northbound on Interstate 25, and he looks off to the east, and he sees this saucer raise off the ground, tilt at about a 5-by-3 angle, shoot straight up. I said, John, how big is it? He said, between the 25, between a quarter and a 57 piece, he held it at arm's length. So he's pretty close. There was a lady, she was riding southbound coming out of Colorado Springs that saw it. There was a trucker on Colorado Highway 36 coming up out of Rocky Ford headed towards Colorado Springs. He probably was the closest. And I was able to talk to him and Highway 36, the 2-lane blacktop state highway. And he said, I saw it come up off the ground and take off. So what I did, wherever those lines intersected, that's where I drove to because I was expecting to have trace elements on the ground of crap because at least 3 people said they saw it on the ground as it raised up. Well, my partner's with me, Bob. And we're driving, we had a topography map, we had a county map, we're driving down, we're in El Paso County, east of Colorado Springs. And we're driving down this county road, and all of a sudden there's a 4-lane gravel road. No street signs, no nothing, but it is well maintained. And Bob's got the map, and I go, what's that? He goes, it's not on my map. He goes, it's probably a ranch, goes to a ranch. I said, there's no ranch that's going to have an entrance like that, I mean, a road like that. Not that I'm aware of. So down the road I go. We go about 1.5 miles down this road, and we come across this complex. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It is exactly 1 square mile. How do I know that? Because I drove that road dead end at that complex and went all the way around the complex. And it's 1 square mile. There's one building in there. There's a fence with razor wire, and there's a double set of electronic gates. There's one building, and I want to guess the building above ground is probably 3,000 or 4,000 square feet. And if there was one antenna, there must have been 1,000 satellite antennas at this complex. Okay, and it was exactly on the map where my lines crisscross. Being the trained observer that I am, I figured we could take there of some sort. No, there was no sign, there was no nothing other than this building and a razor wire fence, whatever.
They were playing underground.
Huh?
They were playing underground.
Bingo. I had to go to work the next day. So I'm sitting in briefing, Aurora PD is about an 800-person department, pretty good size, and second largest police department in the state of Colorado outside of Denver. And sitting in briefing, there's 30, 40 cops sitting in briefing, they're telling me, look out for this, blah, 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 whatever. Briefing's over with, and I'm walking out of the room, and the watch commander, Harry Glidden, goes, "God, can I talk to you for a second?" "Sure, what's up?" He goes, "This is something that you need to tell me." And I'm looking at him, of course, all the other cops walking by, and I go, "Hey, Lieutenant, the rash didn't go away." He looks at me and he goes, "Hey, asshole, he says, I got 2 FBI agents and they want to talk to you in the watch commander's office." Yeah. And I go, "There's no way you can go find that." So he goes, "What the hell are you into?" I said, "How the hell do I know?" I said, "I don't have a clue." So I go in there, and sure enough, there's 2 FBI agents in the watch commander's office. And they close the door, they kick the lieutenant out, and they throw this photograph down in front of me, which is my pickup truck. And you can see my pumpkin head driving. It's me, okay? And there's one's older and one's younger, and the younger agent, who was a really asshole. I took an instant dislike to him, no sense of humor. And he goes, "Well, who's that?" And he points to the passenger. We could just barely make out a ball cap. And I said, "Well, that's my ball cap on my headrest." And he goes, "Don't lie to me, mister." And I said, "Well, don't ask me any questions." Okay, and right then, the conversation went south. The older guy, he was pretty cool. He goes, "Hey, Frank, calm down, will you?" He goes, "What were you doing out there?" And I said, "Where'd you get that picture?" And he said, "You were driving at an area that most people don't go." And I said, "What is it?" Well, the younger guy gets pissed off and he goes, "Hey, maybe you haven't figured it out yet, but we asked the questions." "Oh, yeah." He just rubbed me the wrong way. I had a smart ass answer for him, and he was getting hot. And he says, "What the hell were you doing at Schriever?" And I go, "That's the name of the place?" and the older guy turns and looks at the younger FBI agent, and you could just see the look in his eyes like, "You dumb shit, you're giving him more information than you." Well, it is Schriever, is the name of the, you can look this up. Okay, 60 Minutes here about 6 months ago did a special. It's part of the Space, are you ready for this? Space Warfare Command.
Yeah.
Google Earth, bring up Schriever. It's just east of Peterson Air Force Base. The picture that they have of Schriever is not the complex.
Never is.
Okay, now keep in mind, I have eyewitnesses of sworn testimony that they saw a flying saucer take off from right where those lines crisscross, and right there, I tell the FBI, he goes, "What were you doing out there?" I said, "Looking for a flying saucer?" The older guy never cracked a smile. He just stared at me. The younger guy, he was already pissed at me, so I don't think he even heard what I said. He was wanting to arrest me for something. He was going to make up a charge if he could come out. But the older guy just stared at me, and I said, "That's what I was doing." Okay. I said, "What the hell is that place?" And he goes, he just kind of shook his head and said, "No, you don't want to know." But I have since learned that it is part of the Space Warfare Command.
Yeah.
So put 2 and 2 together. Flying saucer, remote site. Now, whether the saucer was theirs or ours, I have no way of knowing. But I am 110% convinced that that craft came from that complex. And you're right, 90% of it is underground.
Oh, yeah. We're also investigating the guy. Remember, he was going to get us the paperwork to do about the Iraqi pyramids and stuff. And he was a witness we were going to talk to, but he was found dead in an alley.
Without going into too much detail, this individual was Special Forces during the first Iraq War, Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And he was deployed in the Kuwaiti desert. Their job was to set up a refueling station out in the middle of the Kuwaiti desert behind the Iraqi Republican Guard. Norman Schwarzkopf, if you're familiar with that name, was the general in charge. And the objective was they were going to smash through the Republican Guard and they had about 200 miles of fuel where they had to be refueled with armored cars and armored tanks and Bradley fighting machines. And his job, his platoon, was to set up these, and so in the middle of the night, they drop them off in the Kuwaiti desert. Well, as soon as the helicopters leave and they set up their equipment, none of it would work. They were not in communication with their sat nav, whatever communications they have at the time, wasn't working. Satellite was not picking up anything. And Ryan said that they could feel vibration in the ground, and you could hear this hum. Mm-hmm. Well, they walked over this little hill, and sure enough, according to Ryan, was this tip of a pyramid sticking out of the sand, and it was operational, whatever that was. Okay. And it completely knocked out their ability to, and long story short, Ryan got injured and on a training exercise several months later and had to get out of the service, but his platoon and all 16 guys that were with him were killed in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan. Ryan was the only one. Now Ryan said that he had pictures, he had GPS coordinates, he had maps, he had some other information showing that this pyramid existed. Okay, he was scared shitless. I was trying to make contact with him to get all that information, and I told Ryan, I said, the only thing that I can tell you is that if you go public with it, it'll probably protect you. Okay, I said, we need to get this out in the open. And this is going through a second party. It was my son that was in contact with Ryan. Now my son saw the maps, saw several of the pictures that Ryan had showed him, had set up a meeting. I was going to go out to Colorado to meet with them. And Denver Police Department found Ryan in a back alley with 238 caliber slugs in the back of his head. And so that's where that story is right now. There's a little bit more information, but it's kind of an active investigation still, so I don't want to give out too much. But I believe Ryan, I know this much, he was Special Forces. His DD-214 is that he was in the Army Special Forces. He was in the Iraq War. So that portion of it has been verified. Now as to the pyramid and all the other stuff, we don't know.
They got rid of it.
Yeah, they
Where exactly in Iraq was it? Was it in Iraq? The pyramid?
Kuwait.
Kuwait.
The Kuwaiti desert. And so, yeah, well, as a result of that, I live in Locust Grove. I get a phone call, and I'm to meet a person at the football stadium in Locust Grove. It's a high school football stadium field there. And it turned out to be an FBI agent. Now, this is after Ryan had been found dead. And he essentially verified that Ryan was the real deal and that I should leave well enough alone.
Or you can live like him.
That wasn't
a threat.
Well, I guess you could take it that way. It wasn't, to me, I think if he was going to do that, he would have been a lot more direct.
I think he probably would have, but he did say that he knows that our team exists. He knows that we're all looking into this whole thing.
They were well aware, or he was well aware of some of the conversations that Marilyn and I had. He knew about the Oklahoma UFO paranormal team. He knew about me. I guess I can go ahead and say this. I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to know this guy. We're sitting what we call heel to toe, and I'm in my truck, and he's in a rented car, and I'm looking, and I'm listening to him, and I know this guy. And it wasn't until several months later, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I sat straight up in the bed, and my wife goes, "What's going on? What's going on?" And it didn't hit me. He was one of the FBI agents in the watch command. He was the older guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We verified what we've been looking into and suspect.
Yeah.
So are you thinking that they've been like?
Oh, hell, there's been times where I've been talking to Marilyn,
And they've been like investigating since.
I don't think that we're off their radar screen.
Yeah.
No, we're
Yeah.
never off the radar.
Yeah.
Marilyn and I've had conversations where I'll be talking, all of a sudden I hear a click and they kicked us off.
Yeah.
And then I try to dial her back and I can't get her back. And I mean, I'm on Verizon, I get four bars on my phone. It's like, what the hell's going on here? So I think it's a subtle way of, you know, hey, we're still listening, we're still watching. So.
But interesting story and more to look into. And
What's it, Scrivener? Is that the name of it?
Yep.
Scrivener?
Schreiber.
I'm sorry.
Like Marie Schreiber?
I like Marie Schreiber.
Yeah, Schreiber. Yeah. Yeah, look it up on the, go on the internet. And in the picture.
it's on the maps now.
Yeah, if you, the picture that they have
Big write-up on it.
It's not the,
is not the complex that we stumbled on. And I can take you right to it. Okay.
and it's outside of, Colorado Springs, right?
The area, since this all has occurred, the area where this complex is, has all been bought up.
Oh,
I don't know that you can get close to it.
Sound right.